Good morning, class.
Good morning, Miss Provan.
How are we all today?
Good, thank you. Yourself?
Good, thank you. So today's lesson is going to be focused on the importance of acknowledgement of country. So a lot of you, or all of you, may have noticed that Mr. Healy, your principal, has been saying a little statement at the start of every event we have, such as assemblies, sports days, the movie night we had a few weeks ago. And it goes a little something along the lines of, before we begin the proceedings, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, and he says the Wurundjeri and Bunurong people. Now, does anyone have any idea who the Wurundjeri and Bunurong people are?
No, Miss Provan. Who are they?
Okay, so these groups of people are the traditional owners of the land, and the importance of recognising that they are the traditional owners of the land is that the land that we are on, the land that our whole entire school is built on, is actually owned by Aboriginals. So, as we all know, Indigenous and Torres Strait Islanders were here before white settlers came. Is that right? Does everyone remember that?
Yes.
Okay. So, I've handed out to Liam a card that I would like him to read. Now, would you like to read that, Liam, or would you like us to read that together?
We'll read that together.
Okay, so I'm going to read through that. And as we go, I would like you all to follow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand out a sheet to, one in three of you, and you can just share, okay? All right. So do we have the sheets?
Yes.
Okay. So I'd like everyone to read along with me. Okay, does everyone understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, so there are two different types here of recognition of place. The first one is the one I read out earlier, so let's read. Before we begin, reading with me.
Before we begin the proceedings,
I would like to acknowledge
and
pay respect
to
the traditional owners of the land,
the traditional owners of the land,
the Wurundjeri and the Bunurong people. Right, and an alternative to this, as you all see on your cards, can be, before we begin the proceedings, I would like to acknowledge and pay respects to the traditional custodians of this land on which this meeting takes place. Is everyone seeing this? Everyone following along?
Yeah.
And then again you would say the Wurundjeri and the Bunurong people. Now, both of these mean the same thing. They're just formatted in different ways. So what I'm going to get you to do is you each have a worksheet, and I'm going to get you to all go off onto your tables and to write down 3 questions that you wish to sort of seek clarification upon, okay? And then we're going to come back and I'm going to send you off into individual groups of 3 or 4, and you're going to all sort of discover the answers for these questions amongst yourselves, and whatever you can't answer, we're going to come back as a group again, and then we're going to go through whatever you still have that's, sort of questioning. So on the sheet, one of the questions that I sort of thought of for myself, and this is what you would do in your workbooks, was why is it so important? Because the sheet doesn't actually clarify exactly why it's so important. What it says is that we should recognise it, but why is it so crucial that we should? So in my workbooks, as you would, I would write question, I would do a 1 as so. Can everyone see that? And I would say, why is this recognition so important? We won't do that, we'll say crucial. Okay, so then when you go to your groups, you would say, well, why? Like, what is it that makes this so important and so central to the importance of respecting Indigenous and Torres Strait Islanders that were here, long before we were, okay? So then you will go to your groups and you will take your questions, you will try and find your answers, and then whatever you can't answer, we'll come back as a group and then we'll go through it again then, okay? Everyone understand?
Yes.
Wonderful. Off you go.